Hi guys, very good evening. Again, we are back with one more video, and today again it is automation, and we are going to talk about automation in the banking industry. Okay, now when it comes to bank, we are already aware that banking is one of the very growing sectors, growing industry in the world. There are so many customers earlier who were not banking in the bank have started banking today. Digital banking has come into picture, and people have the currency has gone digital. People have started banking in numbers, and the customers are increasing day by day. There are so many businesses which has come started getting onboarded into the banks. The customers are increasing day by day. Banks are coming up with so many different kinds of products that they have. Earlier they used to have very specific products, for the customers. Now they have come up with so many niche products. They are encouraging a lot of people to come into businesses. There are a lot of they are having customers who can do banking with them for different things. They are coming up with different partnerships in terms of stock, or be it different insurance or anything. So when the services are getting increased, there increases the customer queries, the customer interactions. So the load gradually increases. When when there is a delay in the response to the customer or something, then absolutely the reputation of the bank also kind of goes down, right? So that's when, and we know that banking infrastructure is also very complicated. They have so many applications running parallelly on different with the different workloads, so much of data around. What do we do now? That is the reason banks have also started their automation journey. Now, is it fully achieved? No. There is a lot of scope to kind of improve on the automation journey, right? So today we are here to talk about different use cases. Though it is just the tip of the iceberg, there are so many use cases that we can come up with. We're just starting up with a little bit of on the use cases, where we are going to just kind of talk about which are all those areas where automation is possible, and what sort of automation is possible with the kind of infrastructure the banks have, right? So Satish, let's just start. So you were talking about the three pillars, right, where automation can be
Yes.
incorporated. Can we just start from there, like what are those three pillars, and how banks can start their automation journey with the kind of different applications that they have, more than hundreds and 200s of applications running in different with different workloads. So how complicated it is to start banks automation journey?
Exactly. So as you mentioned, we can transform this automation, transform this banking industry through the automation in three different stages. The three ways of automation. So the first one is which we call simply as RPA, which is a robotic process automation. So that replicates the human work, how the human will interact with the system to do a particular job. So it will directly replicate the work digitally. The e-employee, the online employee will do that to reduce the actual employee's job. So this is called RPA. So when we are working with the intelligence part, where the human intelligence is needed, when we are working with the multiple documents, when we are working with other emails to understand the requirement from the customers, to understand the sentiments, so whether the customer is querying for the support or else the service, so understanding those which needs the intelligence, human intelligence, so that we are embedding the machine learning and artificial intelligence capabilities to leverage the RPA to provide the efficiency to the employees workforce. So when we are speaking about the third one, which is the cognitive support. So whenever the customers cannot be able to send always a email and directly come to the branches to get the services or the support. So everything is coming into a mobile banking, as we are in the time of banking 4.0, right? So we have to utilize the mobile applications to provide the efficient support. So this is where these chatbot based services comes into the picture. So we are calling this as a cognitive services. So we are leveraging all these three together to provide an efficiency to improve the employees efficiency and the customer support
So
to make
Satish,
the bank
tell me something, how difficult it
okay.
is to kind of implement this on a live infrastructure which is already so complicated with different workloads and different applications. Okay,
Yes.
how are we going to kind of integrate everything together and stitch everything to kind of pull every data into a complete dashboard and show all these cognitive capabilities that the automation have? Is this going to be a very difficult journey for a bank, or can we have it at a very uh, in a better way as well?
Exactly. So this is one of the good question when we are speaking about the automation. So already banks are trying to bank not only banks, most of the industries are trying to transform their journey to the automation, but mostly they will fail. Why? Because they didn't understand their full infrastructure. So let's just understand how the banks actually work. So from there we can take forward with the automation journey and the transformation. So as you can see in the screen, this is the typical bank's infrastructure design. So it is right from the regulatory body, which will be licensing the banks to provide the services to their customers. So when the banks are setting up their infrastructure, it is right begin from the IT infrastructure. So the IT infrastructure have the network design of two in the two layers. One is called data center, and another one is called the disaster recovery. So these are the two pillars to provide the unstoppable services by the banks to the customers. So
Right.
which we will be simply calling as DC and DR. So moving forward on this IT infrastructure in the data center and the disaster recovery only, all the applications will be installed. So the network begins from the ISP, Internet Service Provider. Then it goes to the firewall to provide the security support and services. And the banks will be setting up their domain, the data center, and the disaster recovery. Then the server configuration comes into the picture. So as we all are in the world of virtualization and virtualized environment, so banks are using the virtualized machines. So in that server configuration only, on top of the virtualized environment, all the applications, core banking systems and databases, and their in-house banking applications for the mobile applications and other services, UPI servers, API servers, and everything will be installed on that virtualized environment. Then other applications will also be running on the data center servers, which includes the CRMs, customer relationship management systems, and the HRMS and the patch management systems, and other applications includes. So the DC will be replicated in near real time with the DR, mostly less than 3 seconds, to provide the um, redundancy to the customers. At the end of the day, all the databases and the other applications has to be backed up with the tape storages, and as we know, banks haven't yet migrated to the cloud environment. So all the databases has to be backed up in the tape storages, and these infrastructures will be shared by all of its branches all across the world, and ATMs and other APIs and API consumers like UPI and other applications, and so on. So from the branches, customers will be getting these services, include the account opening and the deposits and withdrawals, loan services and other services and supports, especially such as name changing, application, date of birth changing, phone number changing, and the queries, other queries through the branch employees, right, which are provided by the banks. So now we will be discussing in this and upcoming videos that how can the banks can transform the way of working right from the customer service, which includes processing the account opening forms, credit card forms and the debit card forms, debit card missed forms, missed debit card cancellation form, and requesting for new debit cards. And there we can leverage the capability of the OCR to extract the, as I have mentioned, that AI capabilities of the RPA to extract the information from these forms, the handwritten forms, and to reduce the time of the employee that he spent on the data entry through the RPA. So, as usual,
I
once
think
the
not
data
just
is
from an
extracted,
employee perspective or a data, yeah, Satish, I think not just from an employee or data entry or that kind of a perspective, but also to, kind of, banks can do everything at a very faster pace. Not just banks, I mean, any industry, if you take this kind of a
exactly.
technology and this particular thing that we are talking about, automating the entire setup end to end. Now, all the industry, last time we spoke about the HR, where hire to retire, everything can be automated and without any human intervention, we are able to complete the entire onboarding to, retire. And using all the platforms, we have the app tools in mind, to have tools in place where we are using them, integrated all of them together, and kind of coming up with a solution. Now, here in specifically in banks, where we are having how do you see the data security perspective, Satish? We also should need to talk about, because banks have a very very secure protected environment. The data is precious, it is real time data of those customers who are banking with them, so that data holds a lot of importance. It cannot be exposed outside. So how do you see that automation will be helpful in also kind of assuring that the data is also secure? We should also talk
Yeah.
about.
So right now we are speaking about the infrastructure, right? So when we are working with the data, the network comes into the picture. How the data is going to shared with its required applications, with its required databases and the third-party services. How we are going to transfer the data from the one network to the another network safely. So using the RPA, we are leveraging the data. We are leveraging the data transformation from one application to another application, along with the AI capabilities by auditing the logs. How the data is transformed from the one network to another network. Is the network safe or not? Is the data storage the storage data is encrypted or not? The databases are encrypted or not? Databases keys, how the as we are speaking about the databases, the databases keys will be private keys will be expired for a particular time. So how we are going to replace with the new key using RPA? So these are not the interesting concepts to speak about the data security when we are working with the data, especially in banks. So I think moreover on the security part, we can come up with the extensive talk, because it is a very vast subject to speak about, especially in the critical environment like banking.
Absolutely. And not just that, Satish, I think the use cases that you've mentioned today on the account opening, there's deposits and withdrawals. And we've actually recently worked on one case also, remember. Then loans and other services and support that we, have. We should talk about, we should come up with, different use cases where we show a live kind of a demo or a small case study or a prototype of how it is being done, in a very, very seamless way, and how it can be easily, a kind of a plug and play kind of a concept for banks also. When it comes to automation, we should have, we already have certain of that ready, so we should kind of come up with small prototypes where we show that how it can be done in a very seamless way also.
Exactly. So it is a nice, interesting idea also. So the we can take from the right from the customer services, which is includes account opening, form extraction, and other services, to the network automation. How we can automate the log collections and patching, automated patching system, and automated tape backups, and how we are going to automate the backups, how we are going to automate the patch management, how we are going to get the compliance reports, and how we are going to get the logs automatically getting the logs from all the servers. Then collaborating all the data to prepare a report for the regulatory body. So all these concepts we will be talking in the upcoming few sessions to elaborately discuss about the banking. So this is what the main failure in a lot of companies, that they are failing in the automation transformation journey. So understanding this infrastructure and designing and architecting automation for this particular environment is much more clarity is needed there.
Right. So on a closing note, I think let me also quickly share the screen.
For sure.
All right. So um, okay. So hope my screen is visible. Yeah. All right.
Yes.
So we spoke about automation in banks today, which is need of the hour, definitely, considering the kind of environment and the infrastructure the banks are having. Automation is definitely the need of the hour to improve on the services that banks has with the customers, which will give them a very very different experience altogether, and not just RPA. automation coming into picture with AI, with cognitive capabilities, and you know, the icing on the cake would be the VR AR capabilities also kind of attached to it. Right now, moving on, we know the business automation comprises of all these core models, which is like the process mining and different ML models that we use, the digital labor, where RPA comes into picture, the core IT automation, AI, and operational intelligence. These are the four pillars of any business automation, and there are we have tools, we have different capabilities, we have different customizations which can be done to kind of overall improve on this on these models. And then moving on, we know why we use RPA. The basic process characteristics are, it is specifically for the rule based, highly manual and repetitive data in nature, which is electronically readable. And if even if it is not, then using OCR capabilities, we can convert that data into a digital data, and we can extract that data into readable data and put our analytics to it and get the results out of it. And then cognitive models coming into picture, which can train the entire data set on different algorithms with different on different models, and then we can put deep learning, big data, and analytics kind of capabilities. That's about the data. So it is all about data. And banking 4.0 comprises of banking everywhere but never at a bank. So it has all these kinds of models: self-service kiosk, which has an interactive UI, support center, live customer support, and experience center with automation and ML AI coming into picture. Internet of Things, which has all holistic view of the entire setup. Mobile banking is already there. So stitching all these things and integrating all these things together in one single platform will will be the key thing for automating processes in bank. Now, why we do that? Obviously, this goes without saying, and this is what we had today. I mean, so we'll be back with one more interesting segment, which where we will be kind of showcasing on a live demo of workflow also. And also we will be talking about different case studies in different industries also, which will talk about a lot of different which will give us a lot of different ideas as well. So I think that's it for today. Yeah, so thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.